already fucked it up.
Can gain something from this because I'm gonna have to fucking do this again.
Yep. That was a good one though.
Is this like how does this?
As soon as I'm
it,
getting it right, that's
Once
how
you-
this shit
assume that
works.
it's rolling at all times. Like what happens if you fuck up?
You just,
Like,
we just
yeah,
fuck it
we'll-
up.
Reshoot it? Or
No.
it's just like edit it back together.
No, once we're rolling.
Once you got the intro right.
Yeah, so
that's it.
Then it's-
get it all out now. If you got
Yeah.
if you got a fart,
Woo!
fart now. Just let you know because it's gonna be on the web for everybody to see it.
Yeah.
What up, though?
All right, Lance, you did so good. I just wanted to hear it again.
Hey, welcome to it again. I'm just playing. Welcome to it, y'all. This is the Welcome to It podcast, where we sit down and we talk with cool people about cool things, some hard things, some spaces for them to give us some game, give us some insight into what they're doing, and then it's also a space for us to get them their flowers on their journey. So if you're sitting down viewing this, sitting down listening to this, we hope that you can gain something from this as a jewel you get or be reminded of something that you have forgot on your journey. I'm your host, Lano. And I'm sitting next to Mr. Do It Again.
Oh, good. That was a tight one.
Yeah, Jeremy Pape himself.
Hey. Yo, and today we got Nick, Rez. What are your street names?
Oh, there's many street.
You got a whole bunch of them.
Yeah. I mean, Nick Rez Torres. I rock with the Rez thing still, just because there's a lot of Nicks and there's a lot of Torres.
Yeah. I call you Rez, and like, is that an
knows
old?
Me like pre, 2020, pre-pandemic.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, maybe I don't call him this.
Yeah. A lot of people still call me that, but you're one of them.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
We go way back,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me.
We like to start the show with just giving people their flowers. We like to have people on here that we like admire or inspired by, and you're like one of the coolest cats that I've known for a long time, who I think just humbly makes the city better. You don't need to like be on the Instagram telling everyone how cool you are. You just live it, which I think is really important and a rare quality. And so I always admire that about you, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So tell us what you got going on right now. How are you humbly changing the city today?
I mean, the project I'm most excited about right now probably is with the Black Box.
Yeah.
I'm doing talent buying over there.
Okay.
They're historically
Congrats.
a bass music, EDM kind of venue.
Yeah.
And they actually reached out. I had done a few shows with them, and they're successful. So they were like, "Do you want to just start actually talent buying here? We want to do more hip hop." They're trying to become more of a full service venue instead of just in that lane. So that was a huge honor for me. As you know, I've been involved with the hip hop here in the city for a hot minute, and it was just cool. Nicole over there, I don't know if you know about Nicole Cacciavellano, fucking legend. She really changed the landscape of bass music in the United States, not just Denver. So it's cool to be able to learn from her in her years of game and apply it to hip hop. So I have some couple events coming up. I don't want to jinx. Very soon, be making some announcements. Yeah, what I will say is I'm working on a producer series to highlight some of the legendary producers, over the last 20 years.
Sick.
And the first one will be in June.
Dope.
That's dope.
That's cool. That's a cool way to blend the genres too, is to begin with producers when you're bringing hip hop in, because I think that's something that, like, even if you are a bass person or a EDM guy.
I thank you. I agree. It's like it fits. The venue is built for DJs.
Yeah.
And producers. Not necessarily vocalists. So like when we had our first couple shows, I kind of was just like, what's wrong here? What's not working? And that it kind of dawned on me. I'm like, we should focus on producers. That fits into the Black Box brand a lot more. And the sound system there is incredible.
Sick.
So it's a really dope way to experience, hip hop too. People don't focus as much on that in that genre. So yeah, the combo, I think it's gonna be dope, man.
What at a producer showcase show, is it gonna be like dance party vibes then, or is it gonna be a lot of cool?
Pape likes to shake his ass.
Yeah, bro.
It depends on the producers and how far I can shake it. The first won't take it, rather.
I can shake it far, brother.
The first one is definitely a fucking cool guys, crossed arms, head nodder.
Okay.
But if the series, we're booked for 4 of them. But if it goes well, we're gonna keep doing it forever. So
Cool.
hopefully we could get some booty shakers in there as
Yeah.
well.
Yes. Fuck yeah. Come on, man.
time to shine, baby.
See me a dance.
What the fuck?
Yo. What I've always known you as a hip hop guy.
Yeah.
Is your musical taste, do you branch out at all for just like when you're just cruising down the street?
Yeah, I mean,
Little Avril Lavigne, little.
Come on now.
absolutely. Gwen Stefani,
Yeah.
love.
But you-
That's a
No,
good
I like
truly, though.
I like all genres, man. Definitely hip hop is my favorite. It has a special place in my heart. But
Yeah.
I grew up listening to oldies, fucking some rock. My first concert was The Offspring.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
Where?
Red Rocks.
Oh shit!
That's
Incredible.
crazy.
Oh, that
Yeah.
is sick.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Man, I must have been like 12 or 13.
Sick.
Wow.
My big sister had to take me. For sure.
Had to take you. Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's tight.
But yeah, I mean, I also am into EDM, which a lot of people don't know that about me.
Yeah.
But as far as the live experience of those shows, it's next level.
Oh,
hard to
man.
beat.
And I feel like a lot of people miss out on that because of the fan base. They can't relate to the fan base, so
Sure.
they ignore the music, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
People are missing out.
Yeah. Dang, I never thought about it like that. But yeah, that's probably true for a fair amount of genres, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And artists even too, they get people like alienate them because of their fan base,
Yeah.
and that is a bummer too because they don't really control that, you know.
Totally.
Mhm. Without a doubt. Quick question before we get too far away from the black box. And
Yeah.
I heard you speak about that opportunity, right? Because you were putting on shows there and then they reached out to you about just something you want to do. When a situation like that presents itself, do you feel like that was something you wanted out of it? Or is it something that just kind of came as a bonus to you doing what you already love doing?
Man, that's a great question. For me, I always dreamed of being a talent buyer, right? Because I came into the game as a promoter,
Mhm.
and when you're doing that, it's just a lot more work, you know, because you have to find the venue, structure the deal, do all of this shit. Whereas if you actually work for the venue doing that, it's just a lot. It's way more profitable. It's a lot
Yeah.
smoother. You know, you can learn from each one and kind of build in a different way. So I had always dreamed of that. It's, you know, there's only maybe 10 talent buyers in the city. It's like
Without a doubt.
coveted. To me, it was always a coveted position. So
For sure.
when I got the email, I was super excited about it. But also like, yeah, it's kind of like when you get what you wish for, then you're like, oh shit, I didn't know exactly what to do. I have partnerships with other venues that I don't want to step on toes or like, you know, ruin good things that I have going. So I was really trying to figure out, you know, what's like something that's not being done where I could coexist with all of these other talent buyers and venues that I respect and want to continue to work with, but also, you know, get mine as well.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
How do you like, well, I guess, do you even think about this? Like, try and rebrand local hip hop music shows so that people are excited to book those? Because it seems like that's harder in recent years.
It is. Well, as I've gotten older too, I don't know really who's dope anymore, to
Right.
be honest. So I tap people like you or like Mike Coates or whoever. And the most recent artist that's been put on my radar, two of them, Rose,
Yep.
dope.
Yep.
She Who Won't Be Named,
Yep.
dope.
Dope,
And
for
I
sure.
just very recently met both of those people, but I'm trying
Sick.
to. I was away from events for quite a while when I went down the cannabis lane.
Yep.
So now that I'm back in it, you know, I've been thinking about that more again and trying to pay more attention to what's happening in the city again. But to answer your question of rebrand, you know, I've kind of am jaded too and am more focused on national talent, and then you just kind of fill in the locals. I would like to do something to give back to the local community, which obviously fostered my career, but I haven't quite figured that out yet.
Totally.
Because it is a challenge and like nobody supports each other. So like
Yeah.
it's really just them and each artist and their fan base, you know, doing it on their own. And I think that's one of the biggest problems. Is like we need to show up to each other's shows.
Yeah,
Well,
one part that, but also one part maybe doesn't necessarily have to like show up to each other's shows, but at least like have some sort of like home base where people know that like, oh, local hip hop does exist there. I could go
Yeah.
see something
Right.
here.
Yeah.
right. There's no
Whether-
like home for it.
Yeah.
There's no
RIP,
hub.
Cold Crush.
Right, totally.
True.
Because that would be, and I get like there's it's a business, so it has to make sense, because that's the other problem too, is like if you have like here's tickets to sell to bring people to the show, and then if it's consistently 20 people, then you're like, well, we can't keep this day
Yeah,
open.
but even though if you have 5 artists that bring 20 people, that's 100 people in the show. But a lot of times the same thing. Their homies will leave as soon as they're done performing,
Right.
and it's just like it doesn't
have
cultivate
to have-
community in the way that we need. I feel like that's part of the reason that no one's ever taken it past a certain level here.
Right.
And you see it in other cities, like they show way more love. Houston rides for Houston,
Totally.
Atlanta rides for Atlanta, but it's like here, I haven't seen that quite yet.
Why do you think so? Why do you think that is a thing to where Denver doesn't have that?
I don't know the answer, man. I think
Yeah.
that's a question everyone's been asking for a long time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to shade on anyone, but I really believe if somebody makes a song that's that fucking good, then it can't be stopped.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone has done that. Like, there's some really talented artists making great songs, but like really making a hit with mass appeal.
Right.
We haven't seen that, and you have seen it in other genres.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then that makes it easier for people to buy in, at least the casual fan. Because if there's at least one song that everybody knows, you're like, well, I'll give this person a chance at least.
Yeah, I mean,
know?
the song, if it's that good, it has to just be undisputably dope, and then I think that nothing could stop it. Lack of promotion, whatever. Like, because most of the music that I like is from a friend that showed it to me.
Totally.
I mean, playlists have really become a thing too.
True.
Obviously, but at the end of the day, word of mouth. Like, if I hear a song and I fucking love it, I'm gonna show it to everybody.
100%.
So I think that is part of it. Is just some raising the bar, and people have been doing that. And the newer artists have the advantage of learning from the older artists and surpassing them, and that's what has to happen. They have to keep surpassing it.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe there's just all. I guess with you saying that makes me think like maybe it's just not an old enough music city in that regard.
As far as
It's
hip hop
like,
goes,
yeah.
No, I mean,
even
we've
like-
seen it. People have definitely like what my group back in the day was doing has been far surpassed now. Squizzy Gang, all of those guys have taken it to the highest level yet.
Right.
To a point where if anyone can manage to surpass that, I think you have a national artist on your hands.
Totally. Yeah. And maybe also too, like maybe Colorado's just such a cool place to be that you're like, you go to LA and you're like, this actually fucking sucks. And then you come back here.
I don't know if I agree with that. But also I think people gotta stop being too fucking cool to like promote. That's the biggest thing that I see. Like on the business end, you put someone on a show and
No
then like
promotion.
no promotion. And I'm like, bro, help me help you. Like, why are you should be the number one driving force of this. It should be the artist,
Right.
know,
It's your
especially
show.
if they're trying to come up. It's different if it's like a huge artist and they barely want to do it. But it's like
Right.
when you're, trying to elevate, why would you not promote the shit out of every
I think that's a
single
lack
event?
of education too for artists, that they don't understand that business end of it, of just like, yeah, man, you got to push the line. The promoter and the venues, they can do what they do, but as the artist, you have to be pushing the line. And I don't think that's a conversation that's being had for artists, especially if like we talking about setting the bar and pushing it beyond what it is, right? Like I just think they don't have that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And maybe also too, you like with social media, it's like you almost think that you're sick because you have like this, like all your friends are liking and commenting on your shit, and you're like, oh yeah, I got like, and then you don't feel like you don't need to push, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Everyone just thinks of promotion and social media as synonymous, but social media is only one piece of the pie, man.
Right.
You have to go outside and talk to people and tell them I have a show this Friday,
Totally.
and like actually engage.
Yep.
Obviously, social media is important, and at this point has become, I would say the biggest one. But like anything that worked prior to social media still works.
Totally.
Flyers and shit. Although the kids will definitely call you out for the environmental impact of
Really?
flyers. Yeah, I have experienced that. And I'm like, damn, you're kind of right, but at the same time, yeah.
Save the trees, man. You can make your songs and not kill trees.
Dead ass, dude. Yes.
Yeah.
They're like,
Crazy.
Well,
this is
ChatGPT,
horrible for the
yeah.
environment, bro. I'm not taking one of those. Okay, you're right.
Well, will
but-
you take a picture of it at least and pull up and bring 10 people with you?
Text all your friends this photo.
But yeah, I mean, even within the digital realm, there's other outlets. Like artists should really be focused on building an email list. That, as a promoter, that's the number one thing that's gotten me paid, is having an email list and not just social. Because like the social is flooded,
Totally. No, the email list is a game
important.
changer.
Yeah,
Yes.
as you know.
Yes. Yeah.
So
That's my secret
yeah, I
weapon.
think just really for artists, they need to focus on that, and that's gonna make people want to book you again and want to work with you if they see you're doing your part instead of like, having to hold hands or harass people to promote their own shit is kind of crazy to me.
Totally. No, you have a good email etiquette. I feel like we should give him some free game because really, email is really
Yes.
kicked
No,
ass
that's
for me. It
important.
was very
Without a doubt.
so like as an artist, maybe I'd like to know like how do you think artists acquire emails that are good, and then how do you think that they cultivate a good open rate?
Mm, good question. I guess I haven't been an artist cultivating the email list. For me, I do giveaways. Is a great way
Cool.
to collect emails.
Yeah.
Obviously, having your website on point, just a little pop up goes a long way too.
Totally.
And just having a sign up form that you could periodically share on your stories. Because a lot of people do want that. They want to engage, and it's like, but you have to serve it up on a silver platter. They're not going to go out of their way.
Totally. So okay, so like either because I think the giveaways is like probably like 90% of how I grew our list.
But that's harder for a local artist because they're like, yo, I'm giving away my 2 tickets to Bender's Tavern or whatever. And it's like, that's not going to get people to go out of their way. Like the incentive has to be there.
So it could be like an unreleased song. It could be behind the scenes of a music video.
Yeah.
It could be
merchandise.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
Yeah, merchandise.
Yeah.
Making dope merch is critical too. I mean, when you look at like some people that have made it on a national level, like a West Side Gun comes to mind, like the merch is fucking dope. And people feel like they have to have it. It's not just like a Griselda logo on a t-shirt. That's not what's sold for them. It's like
right.
Elevating the art on your merch, I think is key.
1,000,000%. Yeah, I love that. And then how do you, I mean, I guess for your list, you keep people engaged because you're just dropping shows all the time. So
yeah, I try not to bombard either. Right now, for Get 'em High, I just do a quarterly thing.
Okay.
Or like a, like a 420 preview. That's gone really well for it, where it's just like jam packed with dope shit.
Cool.
Rather than just like flooding your inbox. But there's people that will say the opposite. You need to be in their face every day. So
I think it depends on your audience.
Depends on your audience and the strategy you want. I'm always like a minimalist on most fronts.
Sure.
So
yes,
less is more.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. I love that.
What's a lesson that you've learned, man, on this journey, man? It sounds like you've been in the game for a minute. Like, what's a lesson you've learned? Like, maybe a tough one, even so.
I mean, just that like the industry does not owe you shit, and you can't expect that.
Yeah.
Like when I first got started, or just because you know somebody doesn't mean that they owe it to you to work with you. Like you meet people out in the street and they're cool and they're a nice person. That doesn't mean they have to fucking work with you.
You're right.
I definitely had early on, like I learned that lesson because networking is important. So I go and I meet someone and then I'm like, okay, I got that unlocked. And it's like that's not the case. You really have to find a way to provide value for people. That's how you get them to work with you. If you're trying to work with someone that's at a higher status than you, have to figure out what it is they need that you could provide. Otherwise, like it's just not going to go anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Good one.
Did you learn that because we had spoke a little bit like how the Black Box was kind of a full circle moment of all of that? Was that?
I mean, to give an example of that, like I'll use somebody we both know, Francois 3D Productions.
Yeah.
Very successful. They've been holding it down, hip hop promotions for 20 years plus.
Yes.
And they're still successful to this day.
Yes.
But they're approachable dudes. Francois, very nice guy.
Yes.
So like I remember when I was first getting out at concerts, I meet him. He's cool. Followed me back and shit. I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna work with 3 Deep. So I started hitting him up. You want to partner on this show? Like thinking he's gonna invest money to bring an artist out, because that's what I was still doing. We're paying for everything. We're bringing the artist out.
Right.
We're paying hotels, all that shit, and then scraping by off like a few extra $100 or maybe $1,000 if it goes super well.
Yeah.
And they're way past that. They were doing that when they're in college.
Right.
I meet him, he's 35 years old. He's like, nah, bro, you fucking cut a check and we promote the shit.
Yeah.
And like when I encountered that, it like hurt my feelings. And I'm like, what? But I thought we was cool.
Remember the shit we had?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I bought you a shot and you accepted it. Like, and
that's binding, bro.
Yeah. Show me your boobs.
Yeah, so like just figuring out how to provide value, and eventually I was able to work with them only when I positioned myself to have something that they wanted or needed.
Yes. Yeah, you gotta get like thick skin along the way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not take shit personal, because like everyone just has to do its business. They have to do what's best for them.
Right.
And that might not be you.
Yeah, yeah, totally. And they can still love you.
Yes, exactly.
Totally.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally. Yes. I think that's a good segue into one of our spots sponsored by our friends at Eureka.
Shout out Eureka.
Shout out Eureka. We fucking love them. You know, they keep it loyal to the oil, and you've been loyal to the game. You know, with all those hurdles and keeping thick skin, how do you like continue to be like, all right, we're booking shows, baby. That's what we're doing.
Oh man, I don't know where it comes from. I feel compelled to do so.
Yeah.
So I do. Yeah, like
Every day you just wake up and you're like, I'm ready to go, like SpongeBob.
yeah. I mean, I love concerts, man. Like that's where I first got a just taste of like the world outside of my mom's house and school and shit. Where
Yeah.
it's like you go out and there's all these other people that don't go to your school
Yeah.
or whatever, and it's like this incredible experience. And I fell in love with that, and like I'm much older now, and that is the one constant in my life. It hasn't changed at all. Sometimes I almost wish it would because it's fucking exhausting. But I just love that. I always just wanted to be a part of anywhere in the process. I really don't care. You have fans, and you have artists, and then there's all this in between. And I just wanted to be part of that process.
Cool. Yeah.
So it motivates me to just keep going. And every time you do a show, if it goes well or not, you learn a bunch, you apply it to the next one, and it goes better and better and better.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a great Eureka moment.
What about someone who also wants to be a part of the process? What's something that you didn't know jumping into that?
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, I guess just the entire process, there's a lot that goes into it. And so you see someone in a position and you assume that it was easy for them to get there. And
Right.
you're like, there's a lot that goes into, any show, there's like probably 20 to 100 to, at the highest level, thousands of people working on each show.
Yeah.
Bring it together.
And they all have a specific role. And in order to like do it well from the top end and produce an entire event, you have to have an understanding of all of those processes, like from the artist experience and what they're there to do, and what the sound man is there to do, what the promoter is there to do, what the bartender is there to do. And I've done a lot of those jobs. Like, my first job in the music industry was as a sound man at Curtis Street Bar, which no longer exists. Yeah,
that's crazy.
I was 18. My sister got me hooked up with the gig.
That's
and
it.
I was like mixing for metal bands.
Yeah,
And they were fucking mean as hell to me. And I was a little ass kid, and I was like,
turn my mic up.
Yeah, literally. They're like, why the fuck do you have this
fucking dude?
Dead ass.
The sound man get it the worst.
Yes, the sound man does get it the worst, and they put in a lot of work. Shout out to all the sound men out there.
Shout out to all the sound men out there.
Because if they want to fuck your night up, they can.
I'm always nice to the sound guy.
Yeah, yo,
I learned his name quick.
That's another game for artists. Don't be a dick to the sound man, dude. You're never gonna be the coolest artist that they've worked with. So like, humble yourself and fucking work with them and help them help you. That's like the big takeaway from my TED Talk here today.
Be nice to the sound guy.
Yes, be cool to the sound guy. Fucking respond to emails in a timely manner. It's just basic shit. Takes you the furthest. I don't even believe I'm that talented. I just think that I fucking do what I say I'm gonna do.
Yes.
And I respond in a timely manner.
Yes.
And that's more than half the battle.
Totally.
Most people sabotage themselves before they even get to the talent because of just their lack of professionalism.
Yep, poor communication.
Yeah,
Yes.
Totally. Dang, that's crazy. I have on my list here that I'm dying to hear the MGK reverse robbery story.
Yeah, what's up with a reverse robbery?
First of all, what's a reverse
What the
robbery?
fuck is a reverse robbery?
When you ask that question, just one of the craziest stories that I experienced in doing this, and I love to tell this story because it was like one of the most inspiring moments that I've experienced in my career, and it was a legitimate reverse robbery. So here's what happened. I was working for Collective 360 at the time. Snowdown was the event. It was MGK, Just Blaze, Bauer. Remember they had the whole Harlem Shake? It was that era.
That's right. Yes.
But my job that day, I was just driving. So I was driving MGK, and I pick him up, and he's like, "Yo, we're gonna go pick up my boy Ryan real quick." I'm like, "Okay, cool." We go to pick up his boy Ryan. It's fucking Ryan Sheckler.
Oh, sick.
So like I was like shocked, and then like 4 other random homies. Took him to get some lunch. Then he's like, "Yo, we're gonna."
Where'd they go to lunch? Where's Ryan Sheckler?
I think we went to Chipotle.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Celebrities eat Chipotle too.
Yeah, yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
We got some lunch, and then he's like, okay, we're gonna go visit my aunt, which was always a trip because I had known that his aunt lives here, like in like the southeast Denver, Aurora area. Because like local people like talk about that. Oh yeah, MGK lived here for like 2 years or whatever.
Right,
so
right.
I knew that. So like I was like, okay, interesting. So we go to visit his aunt, and it's this apartment complex, and everybody knows that he's coming. So there's like literally like probably 100 people outside, like just waiting for us to pull up.
Wow.
So we pull up, he gets out, he daps up everyone. It's like this big moment. I was like, this is the fucking coolest shit ever. Like it was just so exciting, how excited they were, and to like witness like a homecoming moment for him. But anyway, he's like, stay here. We're not going to be long. Leave the car running. So I post up. They go inside. Maybe 10 minutes later, all the boys are just running out. They're jumping in the car, and his fucking aunt is behind him with like probably, I estimated like 40K.
Okay.
Like several fucking bands, just hands full yelling at him, God damn it, Kelly, I told you not to do it. And they fucking jump in the car like, go, 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 like on some getaway shit. And there was still people in the way and shit. So we like fucking peeled out of there. And it was a reverse robbery.
Yeah.
But like to
so
me,
he dropped her money.
That she didn't want it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a lot of fucking money. Like the money was falling, people were grabbing it and shit. Like it was a fucking spectacle.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it was also just like the most inspiring thing. I think you guys could probably both relate. Who doesn't want to go do that for their mom or their parent figure? Like I dream of that day where I could do that. And so like to witness that moment happening for him and be a part of it, it was just the coolest shit.
That is cool as fuck.
That's like my favorite music industry story by far. And there's some other cool ones, but that one, like it was just crazy inspiring.
Totally. Yeah.
That's tight, man.
And it's nice when you see like rock stars being like very sweet people and you're like, oh, like,
you do care about someone.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that was super cool. But it really felt like a ride. Like they were jumping in the car like quick, like fucking go. Hopefully that the neighborhood didn't snatch up too much of the money. But yeah, it was fucking cool, man.
That's wild. Yeah, hopefully she didn't get real robbed afterwards.
I know, huh? Yeah, you think it was a reverse robbery?
Yeah, I doubt that though. That's the thing. Like just from seeing how everyone was interacting, it was so clear that he is like the hero of that complex. You know, like, and they're probably all holding. I think she actually recently passed away, but they probably held it down.
Yeah,
for sure.
Dang, that's tight.
Man, that is tight.
That's super tight.
Hey man, so you love music. Sound like you're pretty eclectic in your taste, right? If you had a song to pick for the soundtrack to your life thus far, what would that song be? Past, present, future, doesn't matter.
Man, soundtrack. I'm just trying to think of songs I played the most.
Give it to us, man. Don't hold back. Don't try to pick a fucking cool song that everybody's gonna like. What's the song?
Man, I don't know. First one that comes to my head that I've just listened to a trillion times. I'm just gonna give you an album, Far Side Live Cabin, California. That's one of my favorite albums ever. Running off of that album. I don't know that necessarily, when you say soundtrack to my life, like I don't know that it applies in that way, but it's just something I've listened to. Like,
well, that's cool.
So much, you know.
Why? How did you find the Far Side?
Oh, the Far Side. Shout out my cousin Alejandro. He introduced me to hip hop that wasn't on the radio.
Okay, yeah.
You know, when I was young.
Definitely one of them.
Yeah, they have Passing Me By, which like is still one of the biggest songs to this day, which is crazy.
One of my favorite from them for sure.
Really?
But other than that, like they're considered alternative. And there's been all these different terms that over the years that, backpack, underground, alternative, whatever you want to call it. But that sound, it just appealed to me. It wasn't about, hood shit, which I couldn't relate to hood shit as much, I'm from the suburbs.
Right.
So
about that girl passing you by.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that exactly.
Shit.
It's real shit that anyone could relate to, and it's like it doesn't have like all this credibility to it. It's just real music that people could relate to.
Yeah.
And I'm a beats guy. I love the beats, and that beat is just dope.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Share yours, Pape. Go ahead and tell us. Mary had a little lamp.
Yeah, please do. That was a tough question, so I kind of want to hear both of y'all.
Tiny Dancer, maybe.
You want to know? He's asking us a question.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Dang.
Mine would be.
That is a good question.
Electric Feel, MGMT.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I fucking love that song.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Good one.
And I just
that's a good one.
It makes me feel good, and I think in my life I just like to do that too, like to feel good, make people feel good, and so that's what we'll be playing in the background as
Have
I'm walking around.
Have you seen that video? There's a video on the internet of like an early iteration of that song. They're like doing some like live experiment type shit at like a college party with like 15, 20 people there.
Sick.
And it's like, it's fucking dope. You should
No
look it up.
shit.
I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
Damn.
like, it's really dope because it's not quite the version we know. So like they reworked it.
Yeah.
So
which is
cool.
another gem. Working drafts. That's big for me.
Yeah. What do you mean? Work like
give space. Like,
yeah.
You have your idea, get it what you believe to be fleshed out, and then give it some time to breathe and revisit it one more time, and you can really elevate it.
Yo.
It looks like that's what happened with that song.
For sure. Damn.
That is a good word. Yeah.
I
I couldn't agree more. I was actually just thinking about that this morning. I was doing my little morning cruise, and oftentimes I'm listening to a podcast or some shit. But I was like, man, I need to like not hear something right now and just like let my brain just like run and totally.
But even this, right? Like Welcome to Its Studios for someone who doesn't know you, this is like the third, fourth iteration of what was once Welcome to the Dope Game, which is a completely different thing. But you take pieces of it, you let it evolve, you rebuild it, and it's way stronger and smarter. And this looks like it makes a whole lot of sense.
Totally. Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully. Yeah. Yeah. Dang, my
lay it on us.
I know the MGMT one was a great one. Maybe the one that keeps popping in my head is maybe Mr. Rager by Kid Cudi. I love that one.
Yeah. I don't want the sad boy shit to be on my
it's the
soundtrack like that, but I love Kid Cudi. Man.
It's the sad boy.
Day and night. Definitely that
Yeah.
was highly relatable for me.
Oh, man.
Time.
You probably do a lot of
Lonely
crying when
stoner
that song's going on.
Oh man, I love a good Kid Cudi cry, bro. He's like coming down from drugs. He's like, I hate myself. No one will love me.
Like a song that makes me cry.
Yeah, I love a good cry. You know, sometimes you're too up. You just need to bring it on down.
Yeah,
you know?
level it out.
Yeah,
I feel you give it a fresh start. Fresh feelings. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, so I know you as a real passionate fella of, one would say, old school hip hop, or more, I guess, like earlier hip hop.
I'm old, so to me, old school hip hop is like fucking, Planet Rock and shit.
Okay, yeah. I don't even know what that
now
is.
they call,
Yeah,
but they now are like De La Soul
Yeah.
or fucking Run DMC and shit.
Sure,
But now what they're calling old school hip hop is like fucking Dr. Dre and shit. So yes,
Okay,
I will claim that. Yeah.
Totally.
I would call it classic. But I mean, I like a lot of new shit too. You know,
because I would just imagine, like, as you're booking, of course, there's a market for the hip hop that we listened to when we were young, but you probably do have to be thinking about.
Yeah, it's really tough, man. I've been learning a lot, like, about. There's a reason why there's so few talent buyers, because it's difficult, man. You have to catch, artists on the incline before they're too big, while you can still afford them, before they get on the radar of Live Nation or like these larger. Because a lot of artists, people don't know this, but artists have a deal, with some of those larger companies, and they're not going to book with an independent venue. That can fuck up the rest of their tour. Like those companies own the tour.
Shit.
So when you're trying to do emerging artists, like, you really gotta, luck is a factor, catching a sweet spot, having a connection to a manager or whatever. And that's kind of what birthed this producer idea, because I feel like, there's, Cervantes, for example, they do a great job of catching those people while they're on the come up. And then like the old, the classic acts that I'm into, same thing. They have all these deals, but what I thought of them, like, producers aren't really performing that much. I'm not gonna say I'm the first to do it, because obviously it's been done.
Yeah, the boiler.
But not as often. And
Yeah.
like the producers aren't really focused on tour, so like you can just kind of hit them up and just pluck them out. So that's kind of where I want to start.
I love it.
With the black box. But yeah, I kind of forget the original question. I'm sorry.
Just thinking about, like, balancing, like, the classic artists that and then, like, thinking about how do you even find
These other guys,
the young
Like,
people.
It's a tedious work, like combing through and
Yeah, you're just going on
keeping your
TikTok
eye on
finding
it.
trends.
Since I've been in
or-
this role, I have spent more time just listening to artists that I don't know.
Yeah.
And
That's kinda
unfortunately for them, like, there's so much weight placed on the metrics, right? Spotify monthly listeners,
Right.
Instagram following, and it's like less and less about the music. Fortunately, the black box, that's their their whole thing is, sound not hype.
Cool.
So when I was first getting in there, I'm sending these emails to Nicole, and it's like, she's like, I don't care how many fucking Instagram followers they have. Like,
Dope.
is it dope? And like, can we sell it?
Yeah.
Because you do have to be able to sell it, but it's not all about that. Some artists like really don't care about social media, and so their social media presence is lacking, but they have real fans that are connected with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been just trying to listen to a lot more music and also just tap my network, and it's important, to tap into with younger people too. Younger people get overlooked all the time, but like for me now, I'm realizing like, yo, I can never. When you're at a certain age, you're part of the movement
Right.
as it's happening. Like
Yeah.
for me, honestly, in Colorado, it was very much like on the bass music side of things, like, Pretty Lights and fucking Michael Menner and all these, there was like an actual movement happening in the city, and like the people of that age at that time, that's their movement, and that has passed for me.
Right.
So it's harder to like really know what's cracking. So yeah, I tried to talk to younger people
Right.
and see what's good. I'm never gonna book something that I don't think is dope, but I will book something that I didn't know about that long ago.
Totally.
If it is dope and it makes sense.
Yeah. Do you talent buyers work together a lot? Like, because you had mentioned it's a small group of folks, but most of the talent buyers I know are really nice. Seems like you guys are a good group of fellas.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
And
people
ladies.
that are nice in the music industry. Some aren't. Emails are very brief. I used to take that personal. I'm like, I wrote this whole fucking beautifully crafted.
I told you about my weekend, bitch.
Punctuation, I use spell check.
Yeah, all that, and then you'll get an email back from a manager that's just like,
Thumbs up.
send offer.
Yeah.
No capitalization, no punctuation, and I'm like, damn, why did I spend all that time? But yeah, I haven't worked together with other talent buyers in the city. I'm still very new to this, but definitely there is some of that, like, because dates are a big factor, and so
Right.
like if this venue is talking to this artist and they can't accommodate that date, they still want to keep the relationship live, they might kick it to someone else and be like, hey, this tour is happening, they want to be in Denver on this date, can you make it happen?
That's cool, then. So there's some love in there.
Yeah.
Dope.
What's the best piece of advice you've gotten, man, on this journey?
Best piece of advice.
Or one of. It don't have to be the best top tier one, but like, what's a piece
We
of
always
advice?
latch on to the best instead
Yeah,
of what's
nah.
a good one.
Yeah. What's just a good one?
I'm just buying time because I don't even know.
Yeah.
As it pertains to what? Like
Anything, bro, just life. Because on here, we just want to share the game, whatever that is. If it's pertaining to talent buying, music, personal life, whatever, like what's something that you just kind of live by?
I mean, the first thing I could think of, and I think the most profound advice I've ever been given, is a single word: breathe.
Yeah.
You gotta just recenter yourself sometimes, and like it's crazy how often in different facets of life you literally forget to breathe.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
But it's important. And I think it has, a metaphor attached to it that we were talking about earlier of just giving things time,
Yes.
slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let things breathe too. It might not work the very first time
Right.
you try it, but the idea is still solid. So
Yeah.
if you can just
I it's crazy you say that, man. Actually kind of cool because I think about I'm real big into the Animal Planet. Like that's like me and my dad's pastime together. We might smoke a joint too.
Stone Animal Planet, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Survive.
You're right. Always been a thing. So but just recently I was talking to one of the homies and we was talking about breathing, and he talked about the difference between a dog's breath and a turtle, right?
Okay.
Dogs live quick lives, right? We all know that if you've got furry friends, right? They don't live that long. But a turtle takes more breaths, but slower than a dog, and turtles be living up to like 100 plus years old. And so just like, damn. So the importance of us breathing and recognizing what type of breaths we're taking in this planet while we're alive is so important. Like, so especially as humans, as we deal in stressful situations or things not going our way, I think in those spaces we should be breathing, like you said, the most, because you might be losing some years, Pape.
Real shit. Yeah. For real.
I'm like, whoa, I'm gonna slow it down and breathe like a turtle, baby.
I love that.
Yeah, there's just not a situation where you won't benefit from taking a deep breath.
Totally.
Yeah.
Whether things are going
None.
good or bad,
Yeah.
it's just
Unless
helps.
someone just farted.
Oh God.
That's a good one.
You should have did that for the Eureka moment. That would have been right in line with some crazy shit for you to say. Yeah, nah.
Sheesh.
What's up? How come we don't have Eureka vapes right now?
Oh,
Missed opportunity.
We have some.
You want some?
No.
Okay.
I'm just surprised it's not available. I don't want to be stoned talking on camera.
They're available.
That's all I needed to know.
We got you. We got you.
I wanted to touch on a little bit, get them high, because that's kind of been a thread that you've always had. You know, it feels like that. I feel like that's just like your passion.
It's evolved a lot.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm proud of remaining consistent on that.
Yeah.
For a long fucking time.
It's cool. It's so cool, honestly.
Thank you. Yeah, the biggest thing for the longest time that I was getting from people, I don't understand what it is, and that was my fault. But when we originally started with Alex Cochran, who you know is my partner, we were like a agency. We were booking artists and like doing artist development type shit for a number of people, most of whom have quit music. Wow. But some of them are still around. Shout out Trey G.
I was gonna say
my
Trey
little
G,
bro.
Yeah. We'll have to have him on. He's great.
Yeah, that would be dope. But yeah, it evolved from that into more of like a promotion company, and then more into like media. Now, like, I mean, whatever, we're talking shit on camera, I'm coming for Revolt. Like, that's what I want to do, you know, at that level of media. But in Colorado, and I think there's this real beautiful marriage between live music and cannabis, and it's just, that's been my life. Literally, I live that, and there's a lot of people that live that, so that's what I'm trying to do with Get 'em High, is just tap into that space where you're fucking smoking a blunt with your homie or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whoever at a concert, and you're fucking lit and hands in the air.
Yes.
Because that's the other part of the meaning of Get 'em High, is like hands up. You know? Which is like those great moments at concerts where people are losing their shit.
Yeah.
So that's what inspired the name. And yeah, I'm trying to do exactly this, what you guys are doing. Interviews, day in the life type content, behind the scenes type things.
Sick.
I feel like as a fan, I just love that stuff. You know, you get to know an artist. It's one of the benefits. There's a lot of detriment to social media for artists, in my opinion, because like if you look at like a Jimi Hendrix, there's like 20 total photos of Jimi Hendrix.
Really?
Or whatever. But like artists now, there's like 20,000. They have to take a photo every day, and you know where they are. There's no like mystique behind it, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's also cool because fans can really connect to artists. So I want to be a part of that process. So we have the media side, and then we have the promotion side, which has to do more with concerts and events.
Sick.
And that is the entity that I'm doing talent buying through Black Box, is Get 'em High. So any shows I do there is gonna be Get 'em High in the Black Box.
Okay.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, it's just like a home for music and weed, man. Who doesn't love that?
Yeah, I was gonna say the best home ever.
Marriage,
Yeah.
like you said. Yeah, without a doubt.
Hell yeah. I got one more. You got,
Go ahead.
That's what I was gonna say. The welcome to it.
Well, that was mine, so it's ours.
Ours together. Should we say it at the same time?
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3. What was your welcome? You're not doing it.
I'm lipping it.
Okay. Or welcome to it moment. You know, it doesn't have to be something that, you know, you're like, I went pro now, but I feel like in our journey, we always, there's a moment where you're like, cool, I'm gonna go all in on this
you get
crazy
those signs,
ride.
right?
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah. I touched on it a little bit earlier, but it's perfect because I told the front half of the story about Francois.
Yeah.
And him being like, bro, we're not fucking investing in shows. Little ass, you know, he was
We'd be
nice
broke
about
if we
it.
responded to everyone asking.
But from that, you know, I went back to the drawing boards and I used the connections I did have. Big homie DJ Chones, he kind of took me under his wing when we were first getting started, and he's dropped a lot of game, wealth of knowledge. Shout out to DJ Chones. He's one of the greatest Denverites in hip hop of all time.
Agreed.
Gotta respect it. He's kicked down 1 million doors and he holds them open. Like he's not a gatekeeper. He's the opposite of that.
Yes.
So we were working with him. We did like a ladies' night on Thursdays. It didn't go super well, but through that, you know, we had developed enough of a working relationship. He's like, yo, Summer Jam is coming up. You should get the after party. So he connected me with KS1075. We got the rights to the after party. We had to like buy some radio ads in order to do that, but it worked out anyway. But so we booked that after party, And that's when I was able to work with 3 Deep, because Francois hit me up. He's like, yo, we did this for the last 15 years. We're partnering. And I was like, amazing. But the welcome to it moment, that party, we were in over our heads, you know, because it was just me and Alex running Jet at that time.
Yeah, that was a crazy time.
It was a crazy time. Yeah. If you know, you know. Every time I bring up that place, people just make a face. Like, there's many different experiences. Are you familiar with Jet? You remember it?
Brother.
Okay.
You see my face?
Yeah. Well, Alex, my business partner, he was the GM at that time. We kind of inherited a dying club, essentially.
Yeah.
It was once like a very high end thing,
Yeah.
but it was, you know, we were just like, fuck it, we're going full hip hop with this. So we did that. We had that after party, and it was crazy busy already, and so I ended up having to hold down the front door for quite a bit of that party. But eventually, Alex came to me. He's like, yo, go to the back. So I go to the back and I walk in there, and it's fucking Francois just grinning, being like, this is what the fuck I do. And the people who was with him was fucking J. Cole, Future, before Future was even cracking like that, because that's how old I am.
Yeah.
It was like, I wasn't even excited the Future was in there because of the Cole and Trey songs, and like the guest list of that party was fucking crazy. Mike Epps ended up pulling up. Like, it was just like this, and like that was my goal at the time, was like just throwing fucking ragers.
Yeah.
And it was that. And it was at that time the most money. I think I made $1,000 that night, which is like, but at that time for me, fucking that age,
party,
I was
hell
like,
yeah.
I was like, we up. You know what I'm saying? I really felt like, okay, we're actually doing this.
Yes.
We're actually throwing real parties that, you know, and it was like, there's no photos of that or anything. It was before like we really even cared to, like, I'm like, how the fuck did we not, you know? You were probably there. I think you were at that.
I think so.
Yeah. It was packed wall to wall, sweat dripping from the ceilings. And I was just like, you know, obviously we had a lot of help, but at the end of the day, like, that party was my fucking brainchild, and it worked. It worked really well.
Yeah.
No drama.
Yeah.
Everyone showed up, and that's shout out to Francois, because if I had thrown that party myself, you know, I think we could have still had attendance, but all the artists wouldn't have showed up. That's him and his network, and he made that happen.
Yes.
But that was the moment where I was just like, I fucking love this shit.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a dope welcome to a moment, man.
Yeah, real shit.
No photos, even better.
For real.
Just your memory.
Yeah, just a blurry
the feeling.
blurry.
Well, I was sober as fuck, actually, because I was really working.
I guess if you're at the door,
So I remember it well, but yeah, that party, that's what just made me feel like, okay, I can do this successfully, and I learned a lot, and you have to work with other people, and you don't need to do it all yourself.
Yeah, totally. That's a gem right there.
That's a gem.
You got anything for us? Close it out. Where do they find you? What do you want us to do? What do you want to leave us with?
Yeah, please find me on, well, first and foremost, just getemhigh.com. It's very easy to remember. Getemhigh.com, at getemhigh. My personal Instagram is at NickRezTorres. Check us out. Win some free shit. Come to a show.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys. Appreciate you having me on here.
Fuck yeah.
Congratulations, Pape, on the studio.
Thank you.
The space is incredible. I'm sure you worked hard as fuck. So
we're still working.
Dope to see. Yeah, still working.
Yes.
Shout out the ones that are still going. Because when I met you, man, what was that? Probably 15 years ago.
Yes, sir.
And I've watched a lot of people start and stop and quit or do other things, which is cool too. But it's inspiring for me to see people just like stick with it if you're still inspired, you know?
Totally. Yes. We're still having fun.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
Cool.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks for coming, bro.
Welcome to it, everybody.
Welcome to it.
Love y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
That was great.